Thank you. So many of you know me, and many of you have heard my story, but there's many here that haven't, because we do a presentation once a year. There's some change out in the group. So, and I am very low tech. One time I wanted to do a presentation. I always have people help me, but this time I just said, you know, I'm a low tech guy. Luckily I have techie people around me that can help me when I need it, but for the most part I'm just me. But I thought I'd do a quick who, what, where, when, and why about what I do. And I'm going to stick with life insurance today because we're through the health insurance crisis of the open enrollment and all that. But on the life insurance side, who buys life insurance? Anybody?
Anybody who has dependents, for sure.
Yeah, so families, moms, dads, Jim?
Businesses to protect the partnerships'
Yep.
interests. Young parents
Yep.
wanting to ensure the education and lifestyle of their kids.
Yeah.
I don't think you can buy them on your pet yet, though, can you?
No. That's a black market insurance product. But yeah, there is going to be a test afterwards, so I just want you guys to know.
I think that people overlook that they can get life insurance on their children,
Of course.
and
Yeah,
that's the best time.
so
to
married people are a big one. Single people are, believe it or not, do buy life insurance because what they're doing is they're planning ahead. Buying young, knowing that the future holds things, you can never go backwards and say, God, I wish I had done this when I was 32 instead of 50, you know. Business people, for the purposes of the buy-sell and also for key man. So if you have somebody who's very important in your business, that person dies, you're stuck. Or there's $500,000 there to recruit, train, and feed the coffers while that person's productivity isn't there. That helps. Wealthy individuals use it for charitable giving, to pay estate taxes, and for children. Whoever mentioned that. There's something called the Guaranteed Insurability Rider. The main reason for a children's life insurance policy is not to fund college. That's not. But it is there if you were to have a $100,000 policy on a child. It doesn't cost a lot. But there are 7 opportunities during the course of that child's life that they will be given an opportunity to purchase, typically during a window. When they get married, when they have a child, they can go bam, bam, bam. If they ever get divorced, bam. And then during these age brackets, like from 27 to 32, there's an opening. So you could take a $100,000 portfolio and turn it into $800,000, even if this person has horrible asthma or some kind of a weird cancer, that whatever, that makes them uninsurable or difficult to insure. So who? That was the who. Now what? So what kinds of insurance are there in the life insurance realm? You can either rent or you can own. So if you rent insurance, it's kind of like having renting an apartment. But instead of having a 1-year lease, you would have a 10-year lease. So that's a 10-year guaranteed premium that can't go up, but it will either go away or jump up really high. So if you buy a 10-year term, you know that after 10 years you have to redo it. You know, you're just purchasing it for this period of time, you're renting it. You can rent 20-year, 30-year, and now you can buy term insurance for life. The difference between that and permanent insurance is like a mortgage on a home. You will pay more, but you will be gaining equity. And then just like a mortgage on a home, permanent life insurance will have a point, typically 16 to 20 years, after which you don't pay any premiums, because the policy itself is paying the premiums on the gains through dividends, interest, earnings. And so renting versus owning is big. If you're gonna own insurance, it's best to do it when you're young, because then by the time you're 50, it's done. Whereas people who are looking at buying at age 50 on permanent, they cost a lot of money, I mean, relatively. And then where can you buy insurance? You know, I'm your number one choice, but there are other options available. So you can use any agent for an insurance company or any broker like myself who can represent many companies, or you've seen me online. You can buy online. The difference between me and online is I will have everything they have plus more, plus I will walk you through the application so that you just don't get a sharp decline. When I reach a question that might trigger that company's having a red flag, I can transfer that to a different paper, a different company whose application questions don't address that so much. So that's kind of where my value lies there. Should people buy life insurance ideally? What's ideal?
Before you need it.
Good job. And when you're young.
While you're alive.
While you're healthy, alive, and young if possible.
And young if possible, yeah.
And then just going back to the why people would purchase life insurance. Income replacement, like a husband and wife, a family, or debt buy, so we know that if I'm married and I die, that home at least is paid for in full. Nobody's going to worry about a roof. Some people use it to save money, cash accumulation as part of a long-term plan for the future. Business protection, as Jim mentioned, for various reasons. Charitable gifting, and to pay estate taxes. So that's the who, what, where, when, and why. And then I thought I'd throw in a little bit about me, just because I know about me pretty. I hardly need my notes, but I want to say. I got into this business a long time ago. I was 87 when I first went to work for Prudential, and I got a taste of the business. And then I realized the difference between a good contract and a bad contract. And so then I moved to New York Life, which had a better contract. And I stayed with them for 10 years, learning the business. And it was after 5 years I realized I was going to be okay. And that's that old 10,000 hours rule. After you've done something with commitment for 10,000 hours, you're pretty much, you're there. And most people don't make that 10,000 hours. So I made that. Took 5 years to feel I could survive. I got married in 1996. And I have 3 children. Joseph, he goes by Joey. He's 20. He's biological. And we were older parents. We were in our 40s. So then we adopted Michaela from China. And Michaela's 19. And then after you adopt from China, you have to wait 6 months, and then you can redo the 1.5-year process. So we did that, and we adopted another little girl, Nikki. And so my kids are 20, 19, and 17. They all live in LA. Long story short, after we divorced 11 years ago, and 3 years in, my 9-year-old got a contract offer in Hollywood for acting. And my ex had money, and she wasn't working, and I said, if you want to move to LA and give Nikki her shot, you guys can do that. And it was 2010, real estate market was way down, and I just said, I'll keep your house rented so you don't have to sell in a down market. So that's been going on now for 8.5 years, and they're thriving in LA. I bought permanent insurance once I started, being able to afford more than ramen and stuff. But I bought early on in my career 30 years ago, and I probably purchased 4 times during the course of those beginning years, and all of my insurance was paid up by the time I was 50. So then all of a sudden I'm an older parent with young children, so I just topped off my insurance portfolio with term insurance to make sure I got them through what I consider the years that I should be responsible for them,
Was that for like 14?
14's good. Should have a paper route or something.
Yeah, right. Take care of themselves by then.
Right. And my first, the one that was born to us, because my wife was 43 and I was 42 when she delivered, that was a preemie. And so he was a croup kid. He had a horrible croup. So he was the one that opened my eyes to this guaranteed insurability rider. So I made sure he had it. And then the girls, they just have it, but If anybody knows anything about China adoptions, it's a really rough situation in China. And so they have no medications, there's little heat, the food sucks. And so these babies, many of them die in the first 6 months because they have to fight everything themselves. So then they make them available for adoption after 6 months. Well, those darn girls, man, they're like, they don't even have a cold in their whole life because of that little immune system that allowed them to survive, you know. But yeah, they still have life insurance. Let's see. Oh yeah, something I want to mention in this group. I have used a whole bunch of people in this group, and those of you that I haven't used, it's just because it hasn't come up yet. Or maybe I've had a relationship for 30 years over here that I can't break, you know. But most recently I had a flood, and Dave helped with that, and Jim's helped over the years, and Kate has sold me houses and stuff. But Suzanne is helping me right now after my flood to get a new lease on life with eliminating. I'm still eliminating. I mean, like 3 garbage bags a week almost to the Goodwill and so forth. Suzanne Cote, who was part of this group, she made my house pretty again with colors. Because I had a lot of like that kind of color, you know. I was like, yeah, let's do something, make my house pretty. And then I found out that I really like periwinkle. So my master bath and bedroom are both a really nice shade of periwinkle. I like that. And, but yeah, all kinds of cool stuff. And I live in Nederland, Colorado, and I've lived there since '96, so a little over 22 years, and that's where my kids grew up. And I live in a log home overlooking town, and I got the big back range view, you know, off my deck, and I lived in Boulder for 19 years before that. Came to Boulder right after graduating college in '78. A buddy and I didn't know where we were going, but once we hit Boulder, we said, shit, this looks good, let's get a job. So we did. And I think that's really kind of it. Okay, so now, the test portion. So I have some things to give away. I've got some $5 scratch tickets, which I'm assured by the person at 7-Eleven there were a couple $300 winners.
Ooh,
And then I've got some guarantees with Starbucks. And you can have a choice. All right, so here's the first question. Why would someone purchase life insurance? Oh, by the way, I've got an answer written. So if you get that answer, I'm going to give it to you. But why would somebody buy it, Jim?
because they need it.
To protect their,
That's assumed. Any
protect their
other?
family.
Protect
Yes.
It's a way to save money as an investment.
Not the answer I wrote, but that is true. Jim?
Because they love somebody else.
That is an overriding yes, and that's not the answer I've written. Okay, so here's the bailout. Okay, I wrote a number between 1 and 10. Somebody give me a number between 1 and 10.
8,
6,
9,
5.
1.
Wow.
I just knew it.
Do you want the Starbucks or the Lotto?
I'll take the lotto. I'm lucky.
By the way, my answer that I had written about why would someone purchase life insurance? Family protection to replace lost income.
Is that not because you love somebody else?
No, like I said, that's an overriding. That is the reason. But it wasn't the one I
Don't
wrote
worry,
on my
Dave.
paper. All right. Oops, I lost some. Bear with me.
Paper took dropped.
Yeah, I lost my paper. All right, we're going to stick with this. What is my favorite color?
Periwinkle.
I heard it right here first.
That's Mike. Mike got
I
it.
did it. Because it's my favorite color.
I'm glad we have a therapist in the group. Periwinkle people.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah,
hand.
periwinkle.
How do you respond to that?
How do you feel about it?
It could be worse, I guess. When is the best time to buy life insurance?
When you're young.
Bingo.
Lotto, definitely.
There's no lotto.
Oh well, I'm drinking coffee then.
It's like you could use a little coffee.
Think so? Okay.
How old is my youngest daughter, Nikki?
17. I guess I have to raise my voice.
The last question is, what is my favorite kind of life insurance?
No, permanent,
Full life, permanent.
whole life.
Whole life is it.
You know what? She worked with me for like 5 years
Right,
or
but
8
she worked in
years.
health insurance. But if
No
I-
shenanigans.
That's right, that was a setup. Now, I probably have, what, 2 minutes left?
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Is there a question somebody would like to think?
Squeeze it in.
I have a question.
All right.
I didn't quite understand, if you buy life insurance for your child, is that so that when your child ages, then when they die, that their kids and their family gets
Well, what
that?
the main thing is that, sure, there's a $100,000 policy, let's say, which is fine in and of itself. But 7 times during the course of that child's life, should that child be in bad health,
Yeah.
they would be guaranteed to purchase another 100,000 or up to another 100,000,
No matter what their health.
no matter what their health is.
At the same premium?
Yeah.
The premium doesn't change.
Well, based on age.
Well, under 18 is
Under
all
18,
standard rating. So thank you, guys.
Thanks.